Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tyler's Tiger Talk. So it's been a while since I've been able to say that, right? It's been around January after the Purdue game I made a video. So it's been a while. In these past few months, being busy in school and stuff, I've just kind of been thinking about what I want to do going forward with this channel, especially now it's off season. There isn't as much to talk about, when football's alive in the fall. It's there's just so much to talk about, so much to discuss about the season and the off season with football, especially when you have baseball and all gymnastics, basketball, all that kind of distracting you. It's hard to focus on football. But now that I have some time and football starting to kind of ramp up again with spring season, I kind of want to start making some videos again, and I will. That spring game Saturday, right? I think it was Saturday. I will make a video on when I get the time, but I kind of want to make a video just talking a little about what's to come forward in the next few months and on the channel and stuff like that, because I want to start making more videos again now that I have some time on my hands. But yeah, LSU's doing good in the transfer portal. Like I said, in my videos in the fall when I was talking about football and talking about playing Alabama and Georgia and the SEC, just all that. I stressed the importance of the transfer portal and how good at LSU was at getting talented veterans that have played either in the SEC or other places. And LSU's just really good at picking up those good, talented players, veterans. They maybe play for a year or two, know how the system works. Especially when you pick up guys from the SEC, like places like Arkansas or Ole Miss. Just giving you an example. So those guys know how SEC ball works and the tempo and the standard in the SEC. So LSU's been doing good. I mean, I think LSU ranks 10th in just national rankings overall as far as recruiting. Are they top 3 or top 5 in transfer portal recruiting? So LSU's lighting it up. I want to say they have a 91, 92 grade as far as recruiting. That if you want to compare it to like Georgia or whatever, they have like a 98. But grades don't matter all the time, right? You can still get a lot of good players that aren't discussed, or kind of like sleepers where they come out of nowhere almost. We've had a lot of those. From what I saw from the spring game, I'm not worried. LSU has a lot of pieces to pick up on defense, a lot of players you lost on defense, but also a lot of promise on defense as well. I'm excited to see what Harold Perkins has to bring this year. He's a freaking beast. They're kind of lining him up at different positions, trying to get him in coverage. So last year he was really centered on rushing the passer, like getting him in the blitz, because he was a freshman. He really didn't know how the system work. He couldn't be the Mike because you can't really have a freshman call on the plays on defense. So I'm excited to see how they implement him into the defense. Jaden Daniels looked very good. He will be obviously the starting quarterback for now. With Nussmeier, obviously you have the arm, you have the throw power, the accuracy. But Jaden Daniels is just your guy. He's going to be your commander in chief, and he's going to possibly lead you to a national championship. I think he'd be the guy to lead you to a national championship, college football playoff, whatever. He just has so much talent, so much athletic ability to do that. And then you have so many receivers in just firepower. It's a combination for success. Kyron Lacey, who we didn't see much of last year, he had a really good spring game. Obviously, he had that a viral one-handed catch that a lot of people saw, where he took that in for a touchdown. I think he's going to play a vital role. Then you have 5-star Shelton Sampson coming in from Catholic High, who has the speed, who has the height, the physicality. He's really good. He did really good at Catholic Eye, and I think he will do very well at LSU. What am I missing? I'm gonna go in depth on the spring game, obviously, because there's a lot I want to pick apart. But I think LSU. Brian Kelly obviously said the other day, he talked about depth. It's not that sometimes it's not that you don't have the talented players, but you might not also have players behind them to back them up, say when they need to be taken out or say when they get injured. And I think Brian Kelly kind of emphasized that LSU may not have that depth right now that we need in the off season right now, but that's why you have spring games. That's why you have spring practices, and then you have those weeks in July where you ramp it up and you start practicing hard. I'm just excited to see what this season brings. I think it's going to be a very successful season. Look, Brian Kelly's first season at LSU, he went 10-3. That's hard to do anywhere, especially in the SEC. He beat Alabama, which is hard to do overall. Not many teams can beat Alabama. But it's promising because it shows you, okay, he did this in his first year. What's to come in his second? He killed Goliath in Alabama. Alabama, even though Georgia's becoming the top dog, no pun intended, Alabama is still that freaking unit where you fear every year. They have every year. It's almost like a guaranteed spot in the college football playoffs. Obviously, last year not so, but they're the big. They're still to be feared. But I think LSU can beat Alabama. I think they can beat Georgia. Georgia lost a lot of players in the draft. You can see that they had a few first rounders last night go. So even though LSU's lacking that depth, I think they can still beat those really good teams like Alabama, like Georgia. I think the main thing going into the season is the Florida State game. I think this Florida State game will show you what's to come with LSU. Florida State's good. They're good. They're not that surprise team like we had last year where they beat LSU. That was surprising. Going into the season, Florida State is good. You know the talent they have. They have a veteran quarterback. They have those veteran guys on the O-line and D-line. They're a good team, and they're scary, and they can beat you. So I think that's going to kind of sum up our season. Does LSU make it far, or will they land short of the college football playoffs? I think if LSU goes in and has a tough game and beats Florida State, I think they'll be able to really beat anyone from there. It's not like Florida State's in Alabama or Georgia, but they're a good, solid team that you're playing in your first game of the season. And if you could beat that hurdle, you can continue to mount up and continue to win big games and clutch games. This season, my first season as a student at LSU, and it was an incredible season. It was obviously no 2019, but it was so promising. It was, you beat Alabama at home in a crazy, exceptional game. You won the West. Yes, you didn't perform like you like in the SEC championship, but you got there, and that's hard to do with new coaches, new staffs, new players, new game plan. So we'll see how LSU lines up in the next coming months. They have a high chance to make the college football playoffs. They have a chance to win the SEC. But we'll see. Spring game only paints part of the picture, obviously, because part of the spring game is just practice. I mean, just lining up on the goal line on your own, 1 yard line, and it's kind of just playing around with things. So you can't really tell from the spring game how LSU season's going to go. Like I said, it paints part of the picture. It gives you a glimpse into what this team can be, and I think this team can be very good. Not being biased, but just from what I've seen, the production, the change in your quarterback, Jaden Daniels. He looks. I was watching him, and one thing Jaden Daniels struggled last year was kind of scanning the field. Joe Burrow in 2019 was a genius on the field because he could make the right read on the field. He scanned the field, he found his target, and he threw. And he may not have the cannon or the accuracy, but he just had it was all up here. And he was very smart with the ball, and he trusted his receivers. Having trust in your receivers, I love to see Jaden Daniels have trust in Neighbors and Lacey and whoever else starting out there. I'd love to see that more of, what, I'm gonna throw those 50-50 balls, and I believe I'm gonna try to put it in the place for my receiver because I believe they can make that play, and just having that trust. And that's what Joe Burrow did. One of the first plays of the Alabama game, that pass to Jamar Chase, which was a touchdown. He threw it up to Jamar Chase. It wasn't the best throw. It wasn't a bomb, but he threw it up to Jamar Chase, and obviously Jamar Chase, a really talented receiver, went up and caught the ball. That's what kind of Jaden Daniels has to have that okay, my guy's better than yours, and I believe that. I'm not saying make dumb throws all the time where you're just Hail Marying it all the time, because that's where Nussmeier had those problems where he would sometimes throw it up or not make the right read, and it would lead to a pick. You saw it in the Southern game where we were playing Southern, almost like you're playing a high school team, and he threw 2 picks, almost 4. So Jaden Daniels is smart, very smart, but sometimes he tries to be too smart in situations where you want him just to, trust your receiver, throw it up there, and let him make that play. Obviously, LSU's always had a good running back core. I'm excited to see where that goes with. Now I'm freaking drawing a blank. I can't even think of his name. That's gonna bother me for the freaking rest of the day if I can't think of number 21. What's his name? I'm very, very bad with names. Let me pull it up here real quick. I know freaking John Emery, but is it Noah Kane? Yeah, Noah Kane. I'm excited to see what he has to bring. He looked pretty good in the spring game. I know LSU wants to get him going because the run game was kind of, besides with Jaden Daniels obviously on his feet, the running game was kind of weak. Let me pull it up here. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I just want to make sure. So yeah, Noah Kane. I know they want to get him going, get John Emery going. John Emery's been struggling with his grades recently, obviously, so they're trying to get him on back track. So don't know if he's really for sure 100% go for the fall yet. Hopefully he is, because he's a big body. I mean, you saw him in the Alabama game. One of the first couple plays of the game, he made that catch and run for a touchdown, and love to see him in the passing game because he has struggled in the past with the passing game. So I'd love to see them get him going. Him and Noah Kane. I think they'll be a huge threat. And you just want to have a variety on offense. You don't want to always have Jaden Daniels throwing. You don't want to have always Jaden Daniels running the ball. You want to have get Jaden Daniels reliever, because there were a lot of times this year when Jaden Daniel couldn't fall back on the run, and he had to pass, and that puts pressure on the quarterback. When you can't rely on your running back to run the ball for 3-5 yards, it puts immense pressure on you to make a pass. And sometimes that can lead to an interception or incomplete pass, just whatever. So I'm excited for this season. I know a lot of LSU fans out there excited for this season. We still got baseball, obviously. One of the best baseball teams I've ever seen. So you still got that going on. But once baseball's in, I think it's kind of full steam ahead, getting ready for football and what's to come with that. So I'm excited to see some more LSU news with the football and spring practice and all that. I'm gonna watch the spring game again. I watched it once. I'm gonna watch it again and so I can throw some what I think about ideas, what I think about this team out there. And I'll make another video soon on that. But it's good to be back. Thank you for watching. Like I've said in the past, leave me a comment. Tell me, if you have an idea for me or you want me to answer a question, I will be glad to do so. Or just throw a statement out there, an opinion, whatever. So once again, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next one.